Well, there goes my Sleepwalker #6 spec play. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. So, interesting video coming out of Facebook that recently went viral in the comic book group. A video posted by the username Mike Wilbur recently had a warehouse find where he purchased over 800,000 comic books, an absolutely insane amount. It may be more insane as you watch the videos and just see how many books he actually has in this warehouse. And I thought that this would be an interesting video to do and kind of put a spotlight on it because one, obviously this is going, pretty viral within the comic book groups. Two, I think that the story is crazier the more you look into it. And then three, it reminds us of our favorite topic here on the channel, which is, of course, you guessed it, nothing is rare. But of course, before I get into it, if you guys could like, comment, subscribe, I appreciate it. Helps support the channel and doing those things. But there you guys see it. This one coming out of the comic book group. This is what Mike Wilbur had to say. For those asking what's in the 8,000 square foot warehouse of 1990s comics, I made a quick video. I think I'll post it here, but I put it on my TikTok as well, just in case it does not load. We thumb through pretty quick and are usually a bit more careful with the books. Anyway, here's a small taste of what we have. We are preparing for a Whatnot show, so that's why we have a couple of stacks made. Also, if you go through the older videos, there are probably 15 comic-related TikToks from this warehouse find. And let me just kind of play the initial video that is currently, getting the most attention on Facebook. We'll watch it together, and then I'll add commentary when appropriate. Here it is.
There you go. Some boxes are mixed like this. You Simpsons mixed in with Sleepwalker, with Sandman and She-Hulk, and then some are, full boxes. Here's all. I assume these are all Lobo. A case of Lobo or a case of Moon Knight or, Motormouth.
Not Motormouth.
And then we just have pallets upon pallets. Motormouth. It's the same stuff kind of.
Oh my God.
By.
Look at that.
But, pallet after pallet. You need some hard case. There it is. And then there's also long boxes.
Look at that. Oh, I love that Wolverine cover.
Here we have pallets of comics just like this. We've been pulling them down and going through them. We have action figures along the top. And then same thing on this side.
Dude, that is insane. Like, that's all comic books. I guess some toys as well. But look at how much inventory that is. That is absolutely wild. Like, I have so many questions. Like, was this like a outlet for Diamond Distribution that he purchased? Like, I'd love to find out more about the story, but let's continue.
Mostly comics on the middle, action figures on the top side, and then for the shows we've been pulling.
I totally had that Sandman Orpheus comic book. In fact, I feel like I had a lot of these 90s books. Like, it goes to show how much of an explosion there was in that 90s period when they had comic book shops popping up, the Tim Burton Batman movie. Like, I myself am a product of that entire explosion of the excitement around comic books. And it's just so funny to see like how much that they are printing, assuming that there was going to be people that wanted to buy this stuff and go to the moon with it. Crazy that there's a Simpsons #1 there, because Simpsons #1 actually has some value as far as like a book that people kind of speculate on.
Go through cases and we try and pull 2 of each topic.
Love that Thanos run, Silver Surfer, Jim Starlin, so good. Infinity Gauntlet crossover, amazing.
Or each comic pack, it's all the same comic in each pack. And then we run one in the current show, and then we save one for a future show just to save ourselves some time. But we don't want to run the same stuff every week, but we got tons of it. And then here's, there's graded stuff. Let's see.
As fun as it would be to go through this warehouse, like, I don't know if it's just me picking up on this or projecting. Like, sometimes I can just hear it in his voice. It's just like the sigh of like, yeah, we just got to run these Whatnot shows and, Sometimes we got to go through all these boxes. Like, can you imagine the amount of work that it would take to go through and sell all of this stuff? I mean, it's hard enough as it is to sell a lot of the books that he showed as being, kind of dollar books and run filler and things like that. But online, individually, on Whatnot with shipping, that sounds crazy.
It's all graded. That's cool. There we go, so graded.
Well, there it is. There it is. Eternals #2. Man, oh man. That book literally sells for less than it costs to slap it. It's insane how much that one has fallen off.
This is a cool box. A lot of it's newer graded stuff, like that.
So many slabs.
But there's definitely some.
All right, there's a Silver Age. Oh, first appearance of Gambit. Could get some value out of that one.
This is one of the boxes I find a little bit more interesting.
Oh, that's kind of the actual first appearance of Domino, I think, right? Do I have that right? Barry Windsor Smith in the 6.5. Oh my god, guys, we got to stop. We got to stop sending in mid-grade Copper Age books. Okay, like it just don't do it. Don't do it, please.
Some vintage mixed in.
Fenders, ASM. That's a fun little Captain Silver Age. Spec book right there. X-Men. Lobo. Spawn. Oh! Dude! A Darkhawk 198. Well, that probably pays for the whole warehouse right there.
So anyway, so we got pallets. Like, these are a lot of graded.
Graded pallets.
We have some pallets. Like, this is all Star Trek toys right here.
My God.
Mixed.
Oh, my God.
All this stuff. Then we have a whole nother aisle down here.
A whole nother aisle.
There's more. And then stuff down the middle. So, I don't know. We're figuring out what's here. Maybe some bangers.
Wow. That is unbelievable. Needless to say, everybody in the comic book group was shocked by this. This came in with 153 comments. Are you hiring a super random, but I'd be interested in the Ultraverse? Hopefully you get 500 New Mutants 98s. I mean, that would be a pretty sweet find if you actually had something like that pop up because, I mean, it is of that era. So you never really know. Interested in the Ghost Rider 15s. This is going to tank the market. Interesting amount. PM sent. This looks like Diamond unsold inventory. I actually do wonder if that's what a lot of this stuff was, or maybe this was like a comic book store that had all this inventory, went out of business. I don't know. It's really hard to understand exactly what happened. But I went over to Mike's TikTok right here and kind of just got a chance to watch some of the rest of the videos, and it really is crazy to see.
1,500 square feet of stuff, and so what a lot of it is, you see, like here's a bunch of action figures, McFarlane toys. I'm guessing those are sports. A lot of comic-related stuff. Like here you go, StarQuest.
Yeah, look at all the diamond boxes right there. StarQuest. This is just one of his first videos that he posted.
Booster packs. So there was a lot of card games. If you saw the previous ones, we sold off the Magic. We made killer money on the Magic.
Oh yeah, so this was actually pretty crazy too. He made mention that one of the big finds in his warehouse, on top of all the comics and toys and everything like that, was some vintage Alpha Magic the Gathering cards. Like some of it really high grade. So that was crazy to see that because that actually probably, I would imagine, I mean, who knows what he paid for the warehouse, but like that right there, is in the six-figure range of what he actually probably got out of selling those cards. So pretty crazy to have this kind of warehouse find. And this is a video that was posted back in July. So he's just kind of been sharing, his whole journey with finding this warehouse and all of the inventory that has come out, and has been making TikTok videos about it. And there's definitely been, videos on here that had a lot of views on TikTok, but at the same time, it's just this recent video that the other day. It happened to get kind of viral within the comic book market. So, maybe here I can put another little spotlight on it. But again, it sort of it brings us back to that question of like, nothing is rare, guys. I mean, of course, some stuff is rare. This is all mostly 90s stuff. But he did, make some videos right here where he pulled out a bunch of vintage comic books. Not necessarily a lot of keys. I mean, DC Silver Age, not necessarily that popular. There's a cool, Bronze Age Batman, some Justice League stuff. So there are like some fun, cool books in this collection. But I don't know if there's anything that were like major, major, major keys. I mean, some cool Silver Age books right there. You got a first appearance of Gamora, got a first appearance of the Leader right there. You got some other, older vintage books, cool Hulk cover. You got some Pip the Troll I see coming up, which is remember that was a big spec, like right there. Oh, Pip the Troll! Remember when that book was selling for like $100 after the Eternals movies? I don't even know what the value of it is right now. But yeah, crazy. I mean, just tons and tons of comic books, tons and tons of minor keys and some vintage things. That's one of my favorite books right there. This Captain America. Love that one. First appearance of a Viper right there, the old Viper, not the female version of the Viper. You got some Bernie Wrightson Swamp Thing right there, which is pretty cool. Some funny books, Walt Disney stuff. You got some other kind of eclectic things, Avengers, Detective Comics. So a lot of fun books, Fantastic Four. But yeah, definitely wild. I mean, go check out Beer Can Michael Wilbur. Congratulations to him on his find right here. And yeah, just bringing us back to the conversation, you never really know. That stuff is out there. That stuff is definitely sitting in warehouses, sitting in boxes. I guess he got in contact with the short box guys because they were actually able to kind of pick up a bunch of the slabs and get them sent in. So we had a Secret Wars #8, some other kind of, I don't know, minor key stuff. I saw First Bishop in there. There's Todd McFarlane Spider-Man, another Todd McFarlane Spider-Man. There's a first appearance of Contessa, another first appearance of Contessa. So I actually wonder, like, seeing those books graded, the Contessa ones and a lot of the spec book ones, like, I almost wonder, like, was this someone that was recently doing this, maybe through even 2021, and now they recently just kind of got out of it? I'm not really sure. But here was the Magic of the Gathering stuff. I guess this came from the same warehouse collection, which I mean, look at that. Beckett, Alpha, Mox Jewels. There was the Ruby one. There was the Sapphire one. A couple other Alpha cards right there, which is always really awesome. This definitely has a lot of value. Dual lands, which are awesome. And then this right here was the big creme de la creme, the crown jewel probably of this warehouse find that he had. But look at this, an Alpha Black Lotus in a Beckett 9.5. I mean, that right there is at least a $50,000 card, I think, if I have my prices correct. Eventually he's going to show it. It is also signed right there. I couldn't quite see who it was signed by, but I wonder if it was signed by the original artist, who is still around. He still does work from time to time and go to shows. So, a 9.5 Beckett signed Alpha Black Lotus, definitely going to be a solid find from this warehouse. So what do you guys think about this warehouse find? And actually, while we're talking about how nothing is rare, remember that video I did the other week about the Hawkman 100-copy lot that went up for sale? Well, the guy who actually bought it reached out to me, shout out to Brad, and just gave me a little extra context into why he picked it up. Like, he's a comic book dealer and he just sort of saw it and it was kind of haphazard. And he was like, oh, I'll just pick this up, whatever. I think Hawkman's cool. And he ended up buying up the lot, not thinking too much of it, and certainly didn't realize that it was going to go as viral as it did. But I think the virality actually ended up working out for him, because there was a lot of people that I think kind of were thinking that it was funny that he picked up all these copies. And he said that he got a lot of inquiries, asking about if he was going to sell a couple of the copies. So I'm sure he got a lot of business out of it. Apparently, the Bay Area is a treasure trove for comic books, because I do believe that this warehouse is in Northern California. And we also had that Superman #1 that was recently found. That was actually a Bay Area find as well. The one that is currently sitting at $5 million, set to go on sale at Heritage Auctions, the highest graded Superman 1 in the world. So vintage, modern, copper, everybody is finding this stuff and it's all going up for sale. What do you guys think about that? Anyways, that's all for this video. I'm going to do a live auction watch later on this week for the Heritage sale. We'll probably check it out. It's going to definitely set some kind of record, maybe the world record for a comic book. So be sure to tune into that. Anyways, that's all for this one. Let me know what you guys think about this warehouse find. Thanks so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. See y'all in the next video.